Hey guys, what's going on? It's Looeelooee here, and welcome to another VOD review. Today I have a couple of clips from a player named Dick from Bulgaria. He sent me two videos, one of him training on the robot, and then another video of him playing some games. I'm mainly going to focus on the games. I've already watched some of the robot training, and I have a couple comments I want to mention. But mainly I'm going to focus on the games. I do apologize for not uploading in a little bit. My microphone broke and I had to order a new one, and I wasn't able to make any videos or record anything while that microphone was broken. And I'm also aware that I need to do part 2 of my VOD review for EZO. I haven't forgotten about that, but I figured since I haven't uploaded in a while and Nick has been waiting, I'll do this one first, and then I'll go back to EZO, and then I'll go to everyone else that has sent me clips. And by the way, do not be afraid to send me clips. I've had some of you message me and say like, "Oh, can I send you a clip? I know you must be busy." Just go for it. Send me the email, the link, or the email address rather will be in the description. And the worst case is it just will take me a little bit to get to it. But yeah, keep sending me these clips. I enjoy making these videos, and you guys seem to really enjoy watching them. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So, a little bit of context. He's training on the Amicus Prime. You can see the email for yourself. He's using Hurricane 3 standard on the forehand and then Vega intro on the backhand. Pretty typical setup for a penhold player, and then he's been playing for 1 year and 6 months and now has a coach. And actually, I already watched some of this clip as I mentioned, and mainly this was, and it's rare that I say this, but this was all really good. Like, so it starts with you just playing your forehands, then you switch to your backhands. The form is a little bit big on the backhand. You can make this a lot more compact with pretty much the same amount of power. That's also probably because you're playing with a very soft backhand rubber, but yeah, then you move to doing some footwork, some transitioning between backhand and forehand, and then you also do some looping. And yeah, the whole video is just some different exercises that you're doing. So I do have a couple of comments. This is if you don't have someone to hit with, this is like an excellent way to train and just groove your shots and make them better. You're probably aware of a lot of the little things you can fix. So the number one thing is if you want to get to a higher level, all these shots, the way you're playing them, the form looks pretty good, pretty textbook. Like I said, the backhand is a little bit big, but you need a lot more power, a lot more acceleration on your shot. Right now it looks like as you make contact with the ball, probably as you play a random shot, I'll be able to catch this. Sorry. Let me slow the video down. When you let's just look at this forehand. When you swing on your forehand, your acceleration is kind of linear. Like, your paddle is moving, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 5, you start your swing and your paddle is moving at a 3.5 for the entire shot, from when you start to when you finish. And really, to get more spin and more power, you don't want that acceleration to be linear. You should have the peak of your acceleration, the fastest point of your swing should be as you make contact with the ball. So the way you want to think about looping is you have your paddle kind of ready, and the ball comes to your paddle, and kind of as you meet the ball to your paddle, you add some extra acceleration. You're pretty much catching the rubber full force at that moment of contact to give you that extra spin and that extra power, and then the follow through doesn't need as much acceleration because you've already made contact with the ball, and the follow through is just there to keep your form sharp and keep the ball going where you want it to be, and maybe add just a little bit of extra spin. But again, these are like really small things, and if you keep playing like this, like if you do this exact same thing every single day, like an hour a day, then just naturally your shots are going to get smaller because you're going to get stronger, you're going to get more power, you're going to be more consistent, and this is a really good way to train. So I really liked what I see here. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is, if you can, you need to try and do these things against a person as well, because that will help you with your accuracy. When you're looping to a robot, it doesn't matter where your shots land, the robot's going to play the next ball back to you where you want it. And so there's not really much pressure to keep the ball, quote unquote, on your opponent's paddle. And so I would say try to do these drills similar to this with someone that can block, and focus on keeping your loops the same quality that you have them here, but with the additional accuracy because you're playing to someone's paddle. And then that'll also help you be more ready for kind of a real life match, because of course the robot feeds everything from the middle, and a person is going to be either feeding from the left hand corner or the right hand corner. But yeah, overall not bad. And I want to go ahead and watch these games. I haven't watched any of the game footage yet, but that's what I'm really curious about, because that's where I will see whether or not these shots are translating into the game, what type of strategy is going on. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to that one. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with the gameplay. Smart placement on the return. Careful that you're not, not stepping into that ball. That serve is coming long, and by stepping in, you're not giving the ball a chance to bounce, and you're kind of covering it. If you wait just a little bit longer, that ball's going to come a little bit higher, and you'll be able to play a more stable and more powerful shot. But yeah, that's the right idea. You're reading the serve right, and that's exactly how you want to play it. Again, the form on the back end is a little bit big, but that's something that you can fix with time. And actually, really quickly, I do also want to point out, I did see a couple forehands on the robot clip. I kind of went back and watched it a little bit. Sometimes as you loop your forehand, instead of a sharp form, the elbow is coming up a little bit. So make sure that the elbow is stable as you loop. But again, minor thing. Let's just keep watching the match. You saw that placement a little bit late. Make sure, actually, this is something that, another good return there, but this is something I want to tell all my viewers, just anyone watching at home, because this is a question that I get a lot, and the point before this is a perfect example of why. And it's like, should you be watching the ball, or should you be watching your opponent? And the answer is both. And it's actually, it's very specific. From the moment the ball leaves your opponent's paddle, and it's coming towards you, so for 50% of the time you only want to be watching the ball. You should have your eye on the ball, your opponent in your peripheral vision so you can see if they're cheating one side or the other, but your eye should be on the ball, and you should watch the ball hit your paddle. You should physically see the ball with your eyes hit your paddle. That should not be in your peripheral vision. And then the second you make contact with the ball, you look up, and you are now looking at your opponent. Specifically, you're looking at their paddle, and you have their body in your peripheral vision so that you know where it's going to go, and then the ball is also in your peripheral vision. And so as the ball is going to your opponent, you're only watching them. They make contact with the ball, and then your focus changes again. Now you're watching the ball again. And it's something that's tough to master, but you have to get in the habit. As the ball's coming to you, you're looking at the ball. As the ball's going away from you, you're looking at your opponent. That way, you're never going to be caught guessing. You're never going to be caught by surprise when they go somewhere you didn't expect. You're always going to know where they're going to go, and you'll be a step ahead. And just because you're focusing on one thing, let's say you're focusing on your opponent, doesn't mean you can't still see the ball. You'll 100% still see it in your peripheral vision. And people are kind of uncomfortable looking up. Everyone wants to just stare at the ball the whole time, but it's very, very important skill to master. Good loops, very good spin. One thing is the quality was, not the quality, the placement was quite poor. You played a few of those shots right into the middle where he was expecting to block. If you had just looped initially right into the corner, then you would have won that point straight away. Oh, that was a good serve. That was a net, but that was a nice serve. And of course, it goes in. This is the next one, but yeah, I like that serve action. Oh, there again, yeah, not watching. If you're watching your opponent and not the ball, you see that early, and you're gonna be able to play a backhand, or even step around and play a forehand. as a penhold player, you'll be able to pretty much cover the entire, especially if you really work on your footwork and you seem to be quite tall. You should be able to play pretty far away and pretty much cover the entire table with your forehand. Right idea. That's a good idea on the serve return against the long topspin. Nice. Good combination there. You were ready. You knew where the ball was coming, and that was good execution. Better placement as well. Bouncy serve. You got away with it though. Same thing. You're stepping in on a ball that you don't need to step in on. You can let that bounce and play a little bit more stable. Ooh. Good third ball attack, and then you weren't ready for the next ball. Again, make sure you're watching, and you'll see that ball coming earlier, and you'll be ready for it. All you need to do is a tiny step to your right and a quick counter loop for that next ball, and you'll cover it. But you were kind of just watching it. That was an interesting point actually. Rewatch that. Yeah, you just watch the ball go by you. And again, part of the reason he was able to play such a good block is your loop placement wasn't ideal. If you get that into the corner, he's not going to be able to play like that. Nice serve, very good. Same play, yeah. After he blocked that first one, it seems you didn't adjust. So you know if you loop to that spot, he likes to block there, and that's like the type of thing, especially at the higher level, you have to pick up on that right away. So you played the loop to the same spot, and now you should be immediately, even if you aren't watching, immediately moving to the right a little bit because you know that's where he likes to block, and be ready for that second ball. And then again, I would say the initial loop just needs to be more into the corner if you don't want that shot to be blocked. Nice, good variation. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, very good serve variation. Rushing a little bit. Let me go back and rewatch that point. Yeah, you swung. You saw the return coming fast, and it kind of caught you off guard, but you actually swung before that ball even bounced, and you were early. You could have let that bounce come out to you, just keep your paddle there, and play a quick little loop cross court. But again, if you're watching, you're going to see that earlier, and I think a lot of the time, you're watching the ball, and you're sometimes watching, but you just need that like eye transition. Watching your opponent when the ball is moving away from you, and watching the ball when it's coming to you. Alright, second game. I think. I don't know. It looks like he's changed to a backhand serve. Yeah. You knew what you needed to do there. That ball needs to be hit. Ah. I think you can loop that ball soft on your backhand. You don't need to push that. It's coming very long and quite high. Oh, again, the placement on the loop, he almost blocked, and if he blocks that, I don't know if you're going to get to it. Just the placement is too far to the middle. Make sure you're hitting those corners close to the white line. That one had a little bit more underspin. And again, on these serve returns, especially to the backhand, you're rushing a little bit and stepping in and kind of jamming yourself. You can let these balls bounce and come out, and you don't need to cover it so much. Not bad, right idea. Again, placement is making it too easy to block, but you should still be able to put those points away on the fifth ball. because those blocks are coming high. It's just a matter of recognizing them earlier. And yeah, good surf. Free point, easy pop up. Better, you didn't step in, but you're still rushing. You can let that ball bounce a little bit more and keep your swing a little bit more compact. There was better. It looks like if you landed that block, you were at least going to be ready for it. So it's good that you are adapting. Good. Yeah, he's having a very, very hard time returning this topside surf. He keeps pushing it, so you should keep using that for free points. And then, yeah, good variation. Yeah, so as a penhold player, of course you're going to be stepping around a lot, and that's why it's so important. Two things really. One, when you step around, your opponent should have absolutely no idea where you are going until the last second, and so you want to learn how to fake out with your shoulders. I actually might make a video on this soon because this is one of my best shots. As you pivot the corner, your shoulders should be telling one thing, and your paddle should be doing something else. So maybe your body language indicates that you're going to this corner, and then at the very last second, you switch and you play here, opposite corner. Or vice versa, your body language is all pointing towards going this corner, and then the last second you just turn on the ball and pull it deep into this corner. And that will help stop these pivots from being blocked, because again, as a penhold player, you're pivoting a lot. You don't want this ball coming back. And if it does come back, you need it to be soft enough and slow enough to where you can cross step, cover this corner, and keep looping. And so yeah, that comes with faking out your opponent a lot and just overall better placement. So keeping your shots in the corner and being unpredictable. Feet were not stable there. You were almost jumping as you looped that ball. Make sure your weight is balanced, shot is stable, and again, when you make contact with the ball, that should be the highest point of acceleration. That was actually a better attempt, but it should be pretty much 100% power at the moment of contact, even if the swing is not 100%. A little bit early on the second ball, and again, feet out of position. Yeah, he's really having a hard time with this. Pretty much with all your serves, to be honest. He's not returning them as clean as he could, and so you are taking advantage of that and getting a lot of free points, which is good. Yeah, nice. Nice. Good backhand loop. I will say, every time you've looped this backhand, and it might be a slight timing issue, but all of your backhands tend to drift to the forehand. I haven't seen a single backhand come very deep into this corner, and I guarantee if you can hit this spot right on the white line here, this ball will get past your opponent, and he won't be able to touch it. It looks like he's on the back corner, but you can kind of even see with his weight here, his body is heavily leaning this way, and one ball here is going to cause just a lot of problems, a lot of timing issues. So yeah, if you can play your backhand there, you will get a lot of success. Yeah, again, early on the backhand, and again, kind of linear acceleration. It's so much harder on the backhand. I mean, personally, I'm a forehand player. I've had trouble developing my backhand. But at the moment of contact, instead of the swing being, even when you're like swinging for a 50% power loop, which is okay, sometimes you just want to slowly spin it up, it's not 50% for the entire shot. You start, you meet the ball to the paddle, and at the moment of contact, you need a little bit of extra power to give you that spin and speed generation, and then you want to kind of stop but the swing shouldn't be one set speed for the entire stroke. It should be kind of a specific timing and power difference depending on where in the swing you are. And then again, this loop looked like it was going to drift to the corner. And just one loop right here. At every point, I mean, if you just go back and watch the video, every point you'll see he's leaning on his right foot, and he's only covering this part of the table, and you keep looping here. Like again on the forehand, one loop down the line, you win the point instantly. Yeah, that ball needs to be looped. Nice, yeah, another free point on the serve. Yeah, I like your serves. That you're getting a lot of free points on them, a lot of free attacks. Better loop, more spin. Again, placement is not the best, so one block and you're going to be out of position, but the spin was better. You read where he was going better. Too much pushing right here. I know you missed the loop, but you pushed like 3 balls in a row. You could have looped any one of those, and maybe nervous, but you have to always go for that shot. Even 9-9 in the 5th in the World Championships, like, go for that shot. That ball's got to be killed. And again, you're late finding the ball. If you find the ball earlier and see earlier that it's coming here, you're there earlier, and you can just smash that ball like 5,000% power. And again, that should just be a free point. Careful you're not coming in too fast on these serves. You'll notice a lot of them seem short, but they're really coming long. Nice. Good combination. Still guessing a little bit. So it seems like you have some patterns, like you know where the most probable return is. And if your opponent plays to the most probable return, which happens most of the time, hence why you're aware of it, you're okay in the point. But the second they go to the secondary return, like the off location, you get caught off guard and you're late finding the ball. So if you can work on that and placement, I mean, those are the two biggest things I'm seeing right now. A little bit rushed. That's a free point. That high, you can just smash and put that ball away. Yeah. Again, not watching. The only reason that wasn't a form penalty, I know you're like focused on your form, you missed out, what could have gone wrong. The reason you missed that is because you looped it as if it was heavy underspin, even though it was no spin. And you didn't adjust your form in time. Nice placement. Yeah, hitting these corners, like very, very effective spots. Again, this ball is high enough to be looped or even step around and loop. A little bit lucky, but anytime the ball is popping more than 6 inches above the net, even when it's short, you shouldn't really ever be pushing those. Even if you miss initially, just always pull the trigger and go for these shots. A little bit of a pop-up on the serve return. Make sure that you are watching every time, because a lot of the variation you just you see it, but you see it late, and so by the time you see it, it's too late to adjust your form and play the right shot. On your serves, so your serves are good. He's having a hard time with them. You get a lot of pop-ups. He misreads a lot. But in terms of placement, I'd like to see more variation. I haven't seen one long fast serve when he's leaning deep into this corner. Like, there's such a hole. I know it's kind of hard to see. Based on where he's standing, you wouldn't think there's a hole in his game right here, but one long deep serve right into this corner and you would probably just outright win the point. Same with just one long fast serve down the line. You probably just outright win the point. And you're varying the spin a lot. You're getting a lot of free attacks, but it's always to the middle. he's always kind of ready for it. So in that regard, you could definitely use a little bit more variation. I don't know why you pushed that first ball. You could have looped. And if you are gonna push, make sure you have the mentality that you're ready to block. A push long is not okay. Hopefully he pushes back and then I loop. If you push long, you're forfeiting your third ball, and you're saying, okay, you attack, show me what you got, and I'm ready to block or counter loop you. So make sure you're never caught by surprise when you push long and they loop. And if you don't want them to loop, then even if their push is long, you have to find a way to get that next push short. It's a much better backhand, more compact, more stable. It's okay, you're not finishing your form enough as well. And again, acceleration's too linear, but your follow through should be closer to your left eyebrow, maybe a little bit higher as well. Sometimes on these underspin balls, you're almost like trying to just lift it over the net instead of actually looping it over the net. So a little bit more acceleration, especially as you physically make contact with the ball, and then a little bit bigger follow through, just an overall bigger stroke. So yeah, bigger forehand, smaller backhand. Better form there. And I guess part of that is a confidence thing as well. If you're feeling good, you're gonna play with stronger form. That was a good shot by your opponent, right into the corner. Yeah, again, a lot of the backhands are drifting. Pretty much every backhand is either to the middle or the corner. I haven't seen a single one go the other way. And same again, just too predictable, poor placement on the forehand smash. You have to be able to play to this corner as well, and that'll help you improve your game a lot. But basically, anytime he plays to this corner, he can just stick his paddle out on his forehand side, and there's like a 50% chance that he gets a free block and wins the point. Yeah, again, why don't you play that ball here? Won the point. Quality was a little better, but he knows exactly where that's going. Not bad. Good try. Again, placement just not quite as good as it could be. Same with the shot quality. Yeah, again, right to the middle, right in the wheelhouse. Yeah, make sure you're watching. Again, you won that point, but you found the ball late. By the time you realized how deep into the corner it was, you didn't have time to adjust and play a loop. So you were forced into the push. And against a good player, if you do that, they're going to kill that next ball. It's an interesting paddle grip from your opponent. Nice, good spin. Very good quality as well. As you're looping, your legs are like moving away from the table. You should never be going back as you're playing a loop. If you're looping, you're trying to get aggressive and you want to stay close to the table and keep your opponent under pressure. So you should never be going back as you play the loop. If you feel like you need to play further back to land the loop, then you should be there already. Be standing there before the ball is even there so that you're ready to loop instead of you're close, you realize you're too close, and then by the time you realize it, you're moving back. And then you lose your quality on the loop. And again, that's the video. But I know you lost a lot of points there, but the way you're playing can be improved on so much, and these adjustments that you need to make are so tiny. I mean, it's like a couple inches difference between looping here and looping into the corner, or just like a couple inches difference between, or like a foot or two difference between your back end drifting to the middle and your back end drifting to the corner instead. And those tiny things are going to make a huge difference because you're not going to have to play these extended rallies. You're going to be putting the point away much sooner. But aside from that, your form is good. Your training, it'll get better. Your back end will become more compact. The one thing I would say really work on is stepping around this corner with your forehand and learning how to fake where you're going until the last second. So when I step a corner here, you would not know where I'm going until I make contact with the ball. And so it's almost like a soccer goalie guessing where I'm going, and they just have to commit to one side. But right now, when you step this corner, it's pretty predictable where your loop is going. And on top of that, it's predictable with not the most ideal quality. And so it's too easy to block. And then, of course, eventually you do want to develop a backhand here, even as a penhold player. If you see some of the more modern penhold players, they all have relatively strong backhand loops now because it is a pretty risky strategy to step around and play your forehand here because you're going to need the footwork to cover this wide corner and have like just crazy good acceleration on your forehand to keep yourself in these counter loop rallies. But not bad. Keep working hard. You can definitely improve. Your fundamentals are there. Train with people more than you train with robots, and train with a variety of players. Try as much as you can to play with players that are better than you, and you'll kind of pick up on what they're doing, and you'll be able to kind of not steal, but like learn from them and do the same things, and that's a really good way to improve. But that's going to do it for this VOD review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like on the video. And again, if you have some clips that you want me to take a look at, analyze, give some thoughts on, then just shoot me an email with the clip. My email address will be in the description below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the support on this series. I'm really enjoying it, and you guys are enjoying it too. I want to say hopefully it blows up, but at the same time, hopefully it doesn't, because then I will actually be getting an explosion of emails. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.